MMCDC stands for Midwest Minnesota Community Development Corporation. So as a CDC formed in 1971, our purpose is to help prevent poverty in our service area. We started with a 7-county impact area in northwest Minnesota, and I'll forget something, but I'll give it a try. Becker, Mahnomen, Hubbard, Clearwater, Polk, Pennington, and Red Lake? Yeah, there we go. It's always a challenge there. But so as a rural CDC, we tend to do a little bit of a lot of things. So we're more diverse than many of our colleagues around the country. For lending, we provide commercial lending or business lending. This helps to grow businesses, create jobs, increase the tax base in the communities. We provide mortgage lending to finance homes, and also this provides access to the secondary market for community banks in our area that aren't large enough to directly access the secondary market. And then we offer consumer lending to individuals, and then the more complex new markets tax credit financing, typically for larger projects, some very large projects. For housing, we develop single family and for sale housing, and then multifamily, we develop some now and then, and we manage close to 200 units of affordable rental housing of our own, plus for others. And then services mainly are provided through our subsidiary White Earth Investment Initiative, and these include homebuyer education, financial counseling, and free tax preparation. And I should say we use community volunteers for that, so we're always looking for volunteers every year to help out with the tax preparation. We provide the training. So MMCDC, as I mentioned, started 51 years ago. We were formed by the Mojave Community Action Program here in Becker County, Mahnomen, Becker, and Hubbard counties, when Del Holtgren was leading that organization. And then the Inter-County Community Action Council in Oakley, which was led by Roy Jorgensen. Unfortunately, we lost both of them in the last 2 years. But it was formed with funding from the Federal Office of Economic Opportunity. The intent was to get federal funding right down to the local level without the intermediary steps and redirecting and things like that. And we became a private nonprofit in the 80s when that office was eliminated. So we are a membership-based organization with our members coming from those 7 counties that I mentioned. We were formed to fight poverty in northwest Minnesota, and we've grown beyond that. Our board members come from those 7 counties, plus one appointed by the White Earth Tribe. And while we're not profit maximizing, we do need to make money now and then to support the ongoing work that we're doing. And then finally, we're a CDFI, in essence, a mission-based lender. And as a CDFI, the majority of our lending is focused on areas, communities of disadvantaged people in areas. And so then, hi Amy, join us. Come sit down. So also 20 years ago, MMCDC formed a subsidiary called the White Earth Investment Initiative. And this was intended to further develop relationships on the reservation. As I mentioned, those 7 counties, that fully encompasses the White Earth Reservation. But what we do elsewhere doesn't always work on the reservation. So we formed a subsidiary to develop those relationships and figure out what the needs are and how we could best serve those needs. And so we've been partnering with the tribe and others on the reservation over the years. And while the initiative retains a focus on the White Earth Reservation, it now lends statewide in Minnesota to Native Americans. MMCDC generally was formed to partner with our communities in which we work, to help understand what the needs are there, to be creative in finding solutions to the needs and the issues in those communities, and to provide those services at the local level. While we've expanded, as I mentioned, beyond our original 7-county impact area, our roots remain in those 7 counties, as do our members and our board members. So we're going to highlight some of our services here this evening that we provide, and invite you all to partner with us in the future in whatever way that makes sense for you. First, I'd like to invite one of our board members to speak for a few minutes, Brianna Adams. Yes. Or you can stand and talk back there. Yes.
My name is Brianna Adams. I'm the current director at Sanford Health in town here. I have been on the board now, correct me if I'm wrong, a little over 4 years. It's gone really quick. I am the current secretary and also sit on a few committees, the audit committee, the personnel committee, and the IT committee. I really enjoy sitting on this board. MMCDC is kind of a hidden gem to the general population. I was unaware of it. I was fortunate to partner up with a past board member, Janet Green, who many folks know in the Detroit Lakes community, but was a leader at Ecumen. And she really kind of informed me of all the works that MMCDC does. Now, Julia kind of summed it up nicely. It's a complex organization. They produce a lot of work that comes out of it, and especially for the size, it's quite astounding the work that these guys do. And I look at these guys because they do the work here. But like any organization, they are not immune to change, pandemics. And so I can say in those 4 years, there's been a lot of, like I said, a lot of change, and they've done well to adjust to it. Julia is relatively new in her position. I always say you're new even if you've been there 3 years.
It's been 4.
Oh, maybe I've been on the board 5 years. Who knows? I said COVID took off many years of folks' memory here, but time does fly. And then obviously we've had new CFO come in. We've added human resources internally as the company has grown. But I think one of the coolest things, and why I continue to kind of stay on, is, like Julia said, the mission. They always keep the mission top of mind, as well as we do on the board when projects are being brought forth. And so you don't get to see that as much. And again, that's one thing that I think really stands out about MMCDC is as she started her talk today with the mission. And so as you see all these awesome projects and the impact that they have, and they always talk about how many jobs it brings in and how it affects every community in the 7 counties, that the work that's being done, it's pretty phenomenal. And like I said, you wouldn't know that, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this today, is to get the word out, get people to understand what is MMCDC. And that took me like a year just to understand what that acronym was, but I got that down now. But it is a pretty phenomenal organization, and so I hope these kind of town halls, meet and greets are really successful for our